Hello and welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. I am a psychic medium here to bring you the messages that you may need as you conquer your spiritual journey, okay? Whether you hit the like button, you subscribe, whatever the case may be, it's entirely up to you. As long as you get the messages that you need, that's all that really matters here. I have already called in spirit and my ancestors. So we're going to go ahead and get started with the reading. We're going to do a current energy reading to see... we're going to do a general collective reading just to see what the energy is. I have been receiving a lot of downloads, a lot of messages and things like that. But I'm being guided to start the reading before getting into downloads, if that's what Spirit wants me to do, okay? I want to see what the energy is for the collective before I decide if well, not before I decide, but before Spirit gives me the okay to share my downloads that I've been receiving, okay? So we're going to just see what the collective current energy is right now. So we have the High Priestess or High Priest. We have the Spouse, okay? We have communal living. So okay, so this is communal living. It's like shared living. If you don't know, it's like shared living together under one roof. People with similar interests and outlooks gather, but not necessarily with the same job or profession. So the current energy, you could be living in a situation like that. It could be some sort of like a rooming house, or that's the type of energy that I'm getting. Let's see what else falls out. Scribe or writer. Reverse. Lesson. So you could have learned a lesson in regards, something could have fell apart in regards to a situation with someone that you could have thought that maybe there was gonna be like a living situation, or like this was someone that you were going to be married with, or whatever the case may be. You could have found out a secret or something of that nature. Something that was hidden could have been revealed with the High Priestess being there, or the High Priest, and the lessons and blessings. I feel like you've learned a lesson, or you're no longer... I feel like you're also with the scribe or writer. I feel like in the time right now, in the current energy, when you're seeing this video, you're in this energy where you're no longer stuck in contracts with people of your past. Everything has been revealed. I feel like with the High Priest or the High Priestess being here, this is just saying you could be a man or a woman watching. Spirit is telling me, because it says High Priest or High Priestess, you could have found out secrets about someone you were courting, dating, or in a relationship with. Could have even been a marriage. And I feel like you're no longer in a contract with this individual, and you're taking the lessons you've learned from this past person or people of your past, period, who you were in contracts with, who you had love and some sort of stability or whatever the case may be with. You're breaking those cycles currently. Like, you're literally no longer stuck in those cycles. Yeah, with the Taurus energy here, I feel like it could have taken you a while to completely release yourself, or to completely stop giving to these contracts or whatever the case may be, but you've learned the lessons you needed to learn. So currently you could be being blessed. You could be receiving gifts from the universe for completely, I'm hearing, for completely, standing your ground and holding your position through the wars and battles, the tests, the trials that you were up against when dealing with individuals of your past. This could be lovers. This could be you simply cleansing and purifying your energy from people that you've been with from a child to your adult life, people of your past. Something could be very significant about Asia. Something could be being revealed about Asian individuals, okay? I feel like there are a lot of individuals in this time where individuals' true colors and true intentions are being revealed, and something could be being revealed about the Asian community, okay, and how they really feel towards people, something of that nature. Something's not written. It's like you could also be, like I said, you're leaving or traveling. Yeah, you're completely, wow, Atlantis is sinking. Okay, Atlantis is here. So you have Asia, you have angels. Atlantis is sinking, and evidently you can't hand feed no sharks. It's like you're no longer in this energy where you're trying to force individuals to, sign any contracts. You're no longer trying to show others how to get to the door that you've entered into. It's like you're leaving or traveling. You're leaving all of these things behind of your past in the current energy, and you're leaving them to sink. There's a lot of individuals that are sinking with Atlantis, with the negativity, with evilness, with darkness, with malicious intentions. Like, all of that's confirmation. All of that is sinking, and the angels are at play here. The ancestors and the angels are really at play. And at the end of the day, I feel like some of you are very, very, very protected. A lot of secrets could be being revealed in regards to individuals. You have the high priestess with the spouse, the baby, and Atlantis. A lot of people could have been getting into interracial or mixing nationalities, as society would call it, in regards to not sinking with Atlantis. If this is making sense here, I hope that makes sense to you. Like, a lot with the high priestess, the spirit, the veil is lifted, okay? And a lot of things are being revealed, okay? In regards to people in relationships, true colors are being shown. I feel like also there could have been secrets revealed in regards to someone you were dealing with who could have tried to give you a child or have a child with you, something of that nature, so that way you can like sync with them when Atlantic sinks. But that was not written in your contract. So it's like the angels were there and they made a way for you to leave that path. Like, so some of you could have had a miscarriage or something of that nature, and you could be drowning in your emotions or something like that, but it was divine protection. Like, that was not a part of your pathway. You know, you are going to higher Verizons, you're going to higher places. Like, you have a bigger, your life is not your own, so ain't no way your angels is about to let you sync with Atlantis. If you didn't have a miscarriage, this is something like you may be seeing a lot be revealed in regards to, like, you know, people that you just were around since you were a child. You know, you see that these individuals are sinking, you know, and you could be seeing that a lot of individuals are selling out in regards to finances. Like, a lot of individuals are marrying and having children just for finances, you know, basically selling their soul for money. They're not happy there. They don't even want, they want children with other individuals, or they want to be with other individuals. Their soul is yearning for someone or something else, but they're stuck in situations for finances and things of that nature. All of this is being revealed with the high priestess, and people are sinking. And if this is you, if you're in a situation like this, it's best to listen to your intuition and to stay away from these type of people that you know are in these situations here. Because people are sinking, and they're sinking because of the things that they do behind the scenes. You know, they're sinking for the things that they do that they don't do with the purest intentions. You know, marrying into a certain situation just for finances, just for children. You know, a lot of people have been, I think they call it like indoctrinated or something like that. Like, a lot of people have been like mind controlled to live their lives a certain way, thinking that it's for this one thing, but it's really not for that. A lot of you could be wanting to have children and things of that nature with individuals that are not from your bloodline or that are human. A lot of you are not even human, and you cannot mate with humans because you will not be able to get into the promised land. Like, you will not be able to ascend. You will sink, and that's why you may have had a miscarriage, or you may not be able to conceive a child with someone because they're not for you. You know, they're not a part of your bloodline. Or this is why you cannot get along with these individuals, because you're being protected so you do not sink with these individuals when Atlantis sinks. Atlantis is sinking already. The arts is like, you could be a very powerful manifester, a very powerful musician. I feel like you've learned the lessons that you needed to learn, and by you leaving and by you releasing yourself and no longer keeping cords, it's like you're cutting cords. You know, it's like you're breaking free from these energies. These energies will not be able to you could have even did a burn, script, and release or something of that nature. I said burn, script, and release. You could have did some scripting, a burn and release, something of that nature, you know. But I feel like whatever Whatever contracts you were in, you're leaving them behind. You're moving on. And you're entering into a new phase of love in all aspects of your life. It's like where you're going, only love exists there. Some of you may be getting married, or if you're not getting married, this is just like where you're going, there's a foundation already waiting for you, because you've completely and successfully won the wars. Even if you didn't win every last battle, you still won the war. And you knew that the whole time. And that's why only love exists where you're going. You see, individuals that you could have had to release yourself from, they could have persecuted you, judged you, stoned you, things of that nature, but they were lessons to believe in yourself. And that's the energy you currently in. You're believing in yourself, and you leaving these energies, these people behind. You're completely cutting the cords with these individuals, again, because you've learned the lessons that you needed to learn from every last person, and you're doing it with love. You're doing it with love. Listen, you could be a herbalist. You could be healing yourself spiritually, mentally, physically. Okay, you could be about to be a father or something of that nature. I feel like you're leaving. I feel like you may have a father or a grandfather who could have passed you down some sort of spiritual gifts or some sort of inheritance or something of that nature. Some of you may be traveling. Okay, currently you're leaving things behind. You're getting back to your roots. You're healing. You're spending time with the Most High here. You're loving on spirit. You're holding spirit's hand as you walk your journey currently. Spirit is healing you. You're healing yourself. Okay, you could have been a monk or a nun in your past life. Okay, music could be healing for you. You could be someone who does music. Food and hunger. I feel like the storm is over now. You won't go without eating. You won't feel alone. Okay, you've never been alone. You're no longer feeling alone. Your ships are here. Your ships are here. You're going to be able to feed others. You're going to be able to help others, provide, stability and foundations for others. It's like you're walking with spirit's hands, and you're leaving people who showed you unrequited love, because you may have had different beliefs. You may be a high priest or a high priestess, and these individuals may be biblical individuals. It don't matter how the Most High finds you. As long as the Most High finds you and you live with pure intentions, things of that nature, you good. But people get judgmental and things of that nature, and you also need to and it gets deeper, because you also need to know who you praying to and what you praying on and all of that. So everything does matter. But at the end of the day, people judged you when they really should have been maybe trying to see something from a different perspective, but it doesn't matter anymore. I feel like your angels are protecting you from all energies that showed you unrequited love in the past. You have a lot of protection. I feel like these individuals left you out in the cold, left you alone, but your angels was there, and you're cutting cords. Listen, and you're no longer you're cutting cords, and you're no longer stuck or tied to anyone you had karmic relationships with. You're cutting them off, because they were completely karmic energies, just lessons for you. I feel like you could have Egyptian roots. You could be from Egypt. Okay, you could be from the Egyptian bloodline. Okay, and this is why Uman Ra and the army of Egyptian gods and goddesses that are on earth and in the spiritual realm. Everyone was working to protect you and the bloodline, okay? And now your ships are coming in. Okay, you're very, very powerful. You're very connected to Mother Nature. Okay, you're very connected. Wow, the motherland. Wow. So with the mother being here, wow, you're a galactic being. The galactic beings are being everyone. The mother of this entire world, this entire universe is yearning for her star seeds. She's yearning for her star seeds. She wants her star seeds to come back home, and it's time. The ships is here, and whoever is not with the program, they will be left behind to sink with Atlantis. Everything is being provided for those for galactic beings to move forward successfully. I'm telling you, it's something with Asia here. Have trust and faith. There may be like a war over land or farm in regards to like something with Asia. Asia is like Asians could be receiving some sort of there's like some sort of this is like imprisonment or mental imprisonment. Slavery is here. Something could be going on with the trees. People could be doing something with nature, okay? Someone's playing with nature, animals. There could be about to be like a war. I mean, there's already a spiritual war going on, but this could be something physical. There could be I mean, let's be real. Galactic beings are all individuals that are what society considers Africans and African all African descent, all melanated, neuromelanated beings, period. Society calls us African Americans, Afro, Latinos, and whatever else they want to call us, but we are neuromelanated beings. We are life, we are everything, and we are in everyone. And a lot of people are realizing that, and a lot of people, as they realize that, a lot of people go to war with themselves. A lot of people are at war with themselves in this time, with the knighthood spirit is saying, in the wars and battles with the Celtics and the Greek and Roman, with the farm and prison slavery, the trees, just like the lantern bugs. The lantern bugs appeared in New York City, and supposedly they came in someone's luggage from Asia or something of that nature. But the lantern bugs, they kill the crops, the fruits, the plants, they kill the trees, they do things to our trees and our plants and things of that nature. So it's like this could have been purposely planted by authority figures, but it's like everything is being perfectly aligned for the galactic beings to return to home, to where we are supposed to be. At the end of the day, we are all in Atlantis. We are all in Egypt as we speak. But the illusions that these authority figures have created, they have completely rigged and changed everything from what it actually is. And the angels, the ancestors, Mother Nature, Mother Earth, the Most High, Uman Ra, they're all working together to get everything back to how it's supposed to be. I feel like and what people have to realize, like, you have a lot of people that feel as though they are this king or this pharaoh or this goddess or this queen from past lives and things of that nature, but they don't realize that no, they're not. You know what I'm saying? They weren't chosen for that assignment. Like, yes, they may work with that energy, but they are not that energy. If thousands of people claim to be one energy, confirmation. If I got a call, I just got a call, but that's a confirmation. If everyone is assigned to do the job that only one person is assigned to do, then it would be way more than 144,000 chosen ones. And yes, the whole mission of the 144,000 is to bring more souls basically to the promised land. More. The divine is open to all with pure intentions, but the creator, Mother Nature, has chosen ones here on earth, period. And at the end of the day, a lot has been taken from them. A lot is being, they're being deprived of a lot. A lot of the chosen ones' freedom is taken from them in multiple different ways. A lot of chosen ones are in prison right now. A lot of the chosen ones are still living through like slavery and things of that nature. And the mother of this realm, the creator of this realm, the ancestors, they are not happy about this at all. At all. And it's all being revealed right in front of your eyes. It's time to get out. It's like, when are you going to stop trying to prove to these people that you should be equal? You will never be equal. You have individuals who have royalty in their bloodlines, carbon in their skin, and they don't even identify as a neuromelanated being. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't identify myself as, oh, I'm black or I'm African American. No, and I don't do that because of the simple fact I know the programming behind it. I am a neuromelanated being. I am dark skin. I love all this melanin in my skin, and I've been getting darker, and I love it. I've been in that sun. So it is I don't like the programming that's behind all of it. So when I'm talking to someone who is on a high vibrational level that understands, that knows what I'm talking about, that's how, and even if they don't understand what I'm talking about, I still say it because that's just what it is. But I know what I am and I know who I am, if that makes sense. I just don't like the programming behind certain words and things of that nature that they force society to use, because I am a galactic being and so are you, especially if your skin look like this. You were the first original beings here. Your ancestors created them, and you don't even want to identify your own roots. I literally see, and this has literally been heartbreaking for me. And Spirit is guiding me to talk about my downloads because it was heartbreaking to see. Because it's a specific community of beings who have our roots inside of them, and they refuse to even acknowledge it, identify as it. They refuse to show gratitude to the ancestors. And the only reason that you have people that are a part of our bloodline on a whole nother part of the world right now, that don't even have access to a lot of opportunities and things that we have in this realm in the United States, things of that nature. And then you have these individuals are strictly from our bloodline. And then you have individuals who have our bloodline in them, but they don't even want to identify, and they can come here with no problem. They can live a good life with no problem, and they don't even want to show gratitude to our ancestors. They don't even want to even admit that our ancestors is even a part of their ancestry. Judgment is being called. Judgment is, I've dealt with so many of these individuals, and the love that I have for these individuals, it was so crazy. But lately, Spirit has been revealing a lot to me. Like, I've been seeing a lot, and I've realized, like, wow, these individuals that I myself wanted to mate with, these individuals that I myself, they always had some sort of rejection towards me because of the complexion of my skin. They feel as though they can't succeed with an individual that's as dark as me, no matter if, or you, or that's just darker, period. Society has individuals really thinking that you can't succeed in life if you don't sell your soul for it. You don't go against your own bloodline. No longer. No longer. I wash my hands with it. I'm no longer. It's not even about race. It's not even about none of that. It's about respect. And this is why it took me a long time to post, because I needed Mother Nature and I needed Ra and my ancestors to really calm me, because I was feeling a lot of their emotions in regards to these matters. I cried a lot in regards to feeling their emotions in regards to this. Like, I literally was giving a homeless guy some things, and a Spanish lady said to me, now this is someone strictly he's Spanish just like her, so they from the same bloodline. They supposed to stick together, period. Because let them tell it, they are a part of our bloodline. Our ancestors are not in them. They don't want to acknowledge that, and that's cool, because we know we out of here. We leaving everyone behind. We're no longer trying to force anyone to understand. And yes, you have 10% of that specific community. The even Somalians don't want to. They want to be Arabian. They don't want to identify their roots. They don't want to be associated with being of the neuromelanated community. So it is what it is. We washing our hands with it. It's so many people. It's so many different entities and bloodlines and individuals who don't want to acknowledge that we were here first. And we coming to remind y'all. We coming to really let y'all know what it is. And we doing it peacefully. We doing it with love. We not forcing y'all. We no longer trying to get you to see. You see? We know, but we already know what it is now. We understand where we stand with everybody. We understand that it's just us in the spirits. And we even got some of our own that don't even want to identify as our own. But it's cool, because we don't care. We got ours. Everyone that matters. Everyone that matters in the new world order, we standing in our position and we ready. We doing the work daily. We doing the work every day. And so, like I was telling y'all, I was giving him socks and chips and like just stuff that he can have, water, because it's been real hot in New York City. So I was giving like our waters and socks to like all the homeless people I saw. And the Spanish lady told him in Spanish, why she giving you that and she not giving you money? And she thought because she was old that I wasn't going to say something. I said, what did you just say? I said, why you not giving him money? This your people. This your people. Why you not giving him money? I'm giving him socks and stuff that he can eat. So he can at least have some water. You just standing there watching him. Why you not giving him money? What is that to say? What type of heart do you got? I'm done, bro. You can't, like, I've been really, like, my ancestors been really living through me. So I've been really, like, I told y'all, I don't listen to nothing but Afro beats. And, like, I walk and I listen to my Afro beats. Everyone walks around and they listen to their gang banging music all loud. They listen to drill music all loud. They listen to Spanish music all loud. So why I can't listen to Afro beats? I listen to my Afro beats. Nobody speaks to me no more. I don't care. I don't care. My ancestors are living through me. I'm gonna rap my bloodline. I don't know about y'all, but I'm royalty. I come from royalty, and my ancestors stand behind me 100%. You think I'm not gonna represent my bloodline? You think that what? That music be food to my soul. You think I'm not gonna, on my way to work, I'm not gonna listen to my music to stay motivated, to manifest abundance? Everything that they say in an Afro beat, that's royalty. How can you make a song with one word? You could just say anything. And the song speak to your soul. The beats, the music, everything, the energy. It speaks to your soul. That's royalty. You can't find no other. You just can't. We no longer trying to, and this is not to offend anyone that knows what it is. I'm just delivering the message. And I told y'all I wasn't going to say nothing about my downloads unless it came out. But when this mother with the Egyptian, the farm, the trust and faith, have trust, have faith, okay, with the Asia. And since they want me to put my downloads in this reading, I'm gonna see if when I go to upload this, if they want me to show y'all some of the things that they show me to help you better understand how and why I'm reading the energy the way that I'm reading the energy. Because it's not a game. You're possibly seeing this also. You're possibly already seeing this. And it is what it is. You know what I mean? You can't help that you connected. You can't help that you come from royalty. You can't help that you got carbon flowing through your skin. That you got life flowing through your skin. You can't help that you was born that way. You can't help that. You can't date humans. You can't date outside your bloodline. It will never work. You can't sync with Atlantis. Listen, you can't. You just can't. It's not a part of your life. It's not a part of your mission here. It's just not. It's just not. So, they're wanting to know, how much longer will you wait to be equal? We will never be equal. How much longer do they have to prove to you the truth? That they will never accept you because you will never be like them. They can never be like you. You can choose to stay at their vibrations. You can choose to continue to do the things they do. You could continue to choose to do whatever you want to do. But just know you're going to sync with them. Okay? They show you the truth right in front of your face. They show you the truth. They show you they don't care about you. They show you right in front of your face. They don't like the way you walk. They don't like the way you talk. They don't like the way you move. When you doing things, the way you do things, when you do things. But when they doing it, when they steal it from you and your bloodline from doing it, everyone can do it. It's okay now. It's time to get out, collective. A major portal opened recently in August, as you all know. The portal set the foundation for the collective to ascend and to go back to our roots, to get our land back, while the ancestors cleanse Babylon or Atlantis sinks. As a neuromelanated being, it's time to stop fighting to be equal and understand that none of us will ever be equal to or equivalent with those that do not come from our bloodline. Even those who are genetically connected to our bloodline and ancestors are not allies, but yet liabilities, because they too have envious and hatred energy towards darker skinned individuals due to the heavy mind control they are under. So intrigued in selling their souls for the American dollar. Did you know that South Africa joined in with BRICS to raise the currency, and that 10 countries in Africa are giving African Americans, as society calls us, free visas to go back to live in Africa? And they even genetically test you and trace you back to the villages or the tribes your ancestors are from. Basically, it's only free if your roots trace you back. But that's beyond the point. This is what the ancestors want. This is what spirit wants. This is what the motherland wants. The motherland wants to vibe and connect with all of its precious creations. Oh, how beautiful you truly are, collective. Kenya is giving free lifetime visas to African Americans and Caribbean, Afro-Caribbean individuals to go back home to where they belong. The United States dollar will only be equivalent. The United States dollar will hold on, I was channeling when I was writing. So the United States dollar will only be equivalent. Okay, the United States dollar will, if BRICS completely rise, the United States dollar will be $55 in their currency. That means it's time to do as Spirit says. Save all the money you can. Keep putting money to the side, okay? The collective will have a big financial breakthrough really, really soon. Save, okay? Invest into land. Invest into land, okay? Babylon is falling, and the ancestors, Mother Nature, and the Most High has opened the gates for us. Africa is truly the promised land. It's the portal, the dimension that only the neuromelanated beings who are pure access has been granted to. This is the judgment. And sure, you can choose to stay where you are, but do not call for the ancestors when Babylon actually completely falls. They want to move all of us out the way. Do everything you need to do legally to free yourself. And have patience through the process, because they are going to try their best to make it as hard as possible. But the ancestors have everything. The ancestors have nothing but time. And the Most High sees all. So choose love and patience through the process. And if you plan to save and get your visas for you and your families, coming from America or the Caribbean, whatever, life wasn't easy for us nor our ancestors at all. But life damn sure wasn't easy for tribes and everyone in Africa either. They have been living off the land since our ancestors were forced to leave. They've suffered. They've felt left behind. They felt pain like no other. So give to the land. Don't take these US dollars while they are still of value and give to the land. Africa needs $20 billion to open gateways to unlimited water supply. It's villages and people in need. Use the US dollars to feed those families, build communities, homes while the currency is still valuable. And then you will receive great rewards and opportunities like no other. And life will be beautiful. You will have heaven on earth as promised. You got to give back to the mother. You got to give back to that land. You got to give back to all your soul tribe members that's still on that land fighting to keep it. Come on. It's villages. It's like I said, in this time, focus on obtaining everything you need to transition. Do your research into things that you need to be ready for the collective shift. Once those who are supposed to move forward, everything in this realm, in this matrix, this illusion, America will sink, because America is a major illusion, and they play a major role in the illusions and the mind control that a lot of people are under. Okay? America will sink and or get hit in the crossfire on this realm. It's time to completely un-Americanize, un-illusionalize ourselves. Really stop indulging into their illusions, okay? If you want to eat meat, get your own animals, get your land, get your own animals so you can grow and raise your own animals, so that way you know what you're eating. You're not eating no lab-grown meat and things of that nature. If you don't want to eat meat at all, get your own land so you can build your own crops for you and your tribe, your soul tribe. Stop depending on these people. Stop trying to be like these people. Stop trying to live like these people live. It will never work for us. What's best for us will never be what's best for them. What's best for them will never be what's best for us. We're not even made the same. We don't even have the same things inside of our bodies at all. We are just in a very interesting science experiment to them, because they can't understand how they are not like us. And something with Asians is popping up also. Spirit is saying it's time to completely un-Americanize, un-illusionize. No matter where you live, even if you don't live in America, if you under any illusion, it's time to break yourself free from illusions. What people think is everything is really not. Everything we need is there. Everything in life is free, literally. It just take labor. It just take time. It just take patience and faith and trust in the universe. That's all it takes. So and because people are catching on that they got lab grown meat, Spirit is saying, or you possibly eating humans or rats. You don't know what you're eating, and it's like, because of that, a lot of people are choosing to transition into veganism, eating just fruits and vegetables. People are trying to transition from that to something more pure. Now they're toxifying the fruits. Now they're toxifying the crops and things of that nature. It's like you can't. It's like they, and that's the beauty of Spirit, because they think they're so smart, but the ancestors in Spirit and Mother Nature is so much smarter, and they're never gonna win. And that's the whole thing about it. It's not a science experiment. This is the reality of it. Science is science, but reality is reality. What it is what it is. And you are not a science experiment. You are a galactic, powerful being. You're a god or a goddess. You ruled in your past life. You had land. You ruled. Okay? They gotta, listen. Let me just continue reading my downloads because I get it. I don't like that Spirit wants me to talk about this stuff. And this is why I have not posted, because I don't want to talk about this. I just don't. But I'm going to just continue reading as Spirit needs me to do. So they start toxifying our fruits and veggies and the plants created for us to eat and heal ourselves. Okay? Takaya and her unborn daughter was shot and killed for supposedly stealing liquor that she didn't even kill. Rashad Jamal just got sentenced to 16 years for something he didn't even do. The Asian guy running for president is a white supremacist that completely hates himself because he is the closest to the Caucasian bloodline, but will never be accepted as one. And a lot of Asians, whether they will admit this or not, they want to be considered Caucasian because they are the closest to that bloodline. Caucasian. That's why they're called Caucasian. They're the closest to that bloodline, but because they are of a darker shade, they will never be as high as Caucasians have illusionized themselves to be. So a lot of them fall to the feet of Caucasians to be more like them, Spirit is saying. So the Asian guy that's running for president is a white supremacist that completely hates himself because he is the closest to the Caucasian bloodline, but will never be, or the reptilian bloodline, but will never be accepted as one. But he is willing to die trying, using his position. He did a public ritual basically supporting the KKK's movement. And 24 hours after he did the ritual publicly, there was multiple murders in regards to the KKK. You have to realize this is not our home. This is not our reality. This is their illusion. You have to realize it's like when Spirit wants to know, Mother Nature wants to know, when will you stand up to be the neural, melanated, magnetic, beautiful being that you are? It's time to stop fighting battles that are not ours. It's time to give them what they want. They think they are better off without blacks or African Americans or Africans, as they want to call us, or Afro-Latinos. You have dark-skinned Afro-Latinos who are mistreated by their own Spanish or Hispanic relatives because they have darker skin, or they have strength in their hair. They have hair that connects. They have that 4C, that natural, those natural antennas that connect them to the source. They have that natural hair. They don't have that straight, the straight hair, that a lot of us were illusionized to feel as though we supposed to have. You know what I'm saying? Or that we want. Including myself here. I'm a part of the collective too. I'm breaking free just as well as y'all. And that's why Spirit takes time with me with uploading my messages, because I have to live through it before I can deliver the message. I can't just dump y'all with messages every day, because I've ascended out of that. It's real where I am in the spiritual realm. It's real. It's heartbreaking to see the shit I'm seeing. Excuse my language, but it really is. I just finished crying before here because I'm crying for my people. I'm walking by my people and I'm just seeing. I sit in the tub and I'm crying because I know that the water is so toxified. And although I can't see what the water is doing to my body, I know it's affecting my body. That shit is sick, bro. These people is sick. They sick. You would do anything. They will do anything they want to completely erase our bloodline. And it's never going to happen. It's never going to happen. Because we rising. While they don't even know. They don't even know that. And that's why I'm not even going to put no more cards. Spirit is guiding me not to put no more cards. I'm just coming to deliver the message to you all to just really wake up. You know, you gotta, it's no more explaining. It don't matter. If you, listen, if they don't know by now, wash your hands with it, move on from it, and that's what it is. If they don't know by now, they never will. It's like, it's time to give them what they want. They think that they better off. They want to erase our bloodline. They think that they can survive without us. They think that they don't need our energy. So let's give it to them. Let's see. So mote it be. You have to save yourself. No one in the spiritual realm is coming to save you. None of these ancestors are coming to save you. They've been trying to for decades, for a long time. And if you have not saw it now, you won't see it. It's just not this lifetime for you. You know, it's just not. You know, if you see it, keep seeing it and stay away from those that don't. Because you will sink with them. They're not coming to save you. And you can't save those individuals either. Is no longer. It don't matter who it is. It don't matter who these agents have been placed in your life to be. It don't matter. You have to leave it. Because it cannot go to the land. The land only accepts purity. It only accepts the pure. And if those that are impure are there, they will be, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's best to work. This is not all going to happen in the blink of an eye. This is happening over time as we're in the age of Aquarius. So you have time, collective, to get yourself together, to get your land, to invest, to do you have to start now though. You can't just be like, oh, I'll think about that when I get my generational wealth. No, you have to think about it now, because as you getting closer in your journey, your wealth is getting closer to you. As you get closer with your plan, your wealth get closer to you. You the magician, collective. You're the magician. You snap and it appears. You thinking and it manifests. You're the magician. Don't wait. Start now. You have all the time in the world. You're the magician. Time is an illusion. It's the gift. It's one of the gifts. It's the illusion. If you have time, you have all of it in the world, because it was a gift upon you from your creator. You have so much time. Besides, we are all in Egypt. After all, Africa and all the states split by the Nile, it's all Ra's creation and Ra's plan. Atlantis must sink. It is written. The motherland is yearning to bond and vibe and connect with her offsprings. Get out. The rise of Africans, Afro-Caribbeans, and African Americans, Afro-Latinos, who are rightfully standing in their power, rightfully representing their bloodline and things of that nature. It's the rise for us, confirmation. It's the rise for us, and it's our time. And the ancestors are proud of us, and they got our back 110%. Confirmation again. It's our time, and keep being your best authentic self. Keep loving the skin you in, and just know that beautiful, beautiful changes and blessings are upon you. I hope that these messages gave you the clarity, the confirmation, the motivation, the reassurance, whatever you may have needed to keep growing through your journey. And I hope that those of you that are meant to see this, that you understand that only pure intentions is used for the making of this message. And yes, I may have been a little harsh through the reading, but you have to understand that I deeply feel the emotions and the feelings of the Creator. I feel Mother Nature's emotions. I have access to the ancestors' thoughts and the Most High's thoughts. And it's very sad and very heartbreaking. It is very sad and very heartbreaking at times to watch how rude and ungrateful one can be to my ancestors, my Creator, and the mother of this universe. It's heartbreaking. But judgment shall pass, and only they can judge. And I hope that those that are fighting to erase my bloodline, fighting to keep my bloodline in these illusions and things like that, may the ancestors judge you harshly. May the Most High judge you harshly. May Mother Nature judge you harshly for your evil, evil, evil spirit and intentions. Blessed be the gods and the goddesses, the kings, the queens, the pharaohs of this realm, on the front line, doing the work. Continue to leave these individuals behind. Do your cord cutting spells. Completely cut ties with these individuals and do what's best for you and your family and your future. Because you and the generations to come after you all depend on us right now. Every move, every step we make is vital. We will be the youth's ancestors collective. Just remember that. God bless you all. Peace.
Tell me, said I got shot, I can't move. Drea, down.
Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. And this is just a horrible story out of Milwaukee. So here we have 17-year-old Andrea Sanders. She was shot and killed earlier this morning on live. On her live, she's frantically pleading with her friends to take her to the hospital or to take her to get help. And no one, they said they were going to take her to their mom's house. She says, no, take me to the hospital. I got shot in my head. I can't move my body. And she's just screaming desperately. You could tell that she's in shock and she's demanding that they take her somewhere. But she passed away. Her friends that you could hear, I mean, her live, it went black. So, obviously she had to drop her phone or something like that because the live went black. I'm going to share the full video with you, but her friends did not try to, it didn't seem like they were in a rush to get her help. That's what it didn't seem like. So she did ultimately die from her injuries, and it's just crazy that they didn't try to help her. They didn't seem as shocked as she did. Like, obviously it's happening to her, not them. But it's just like they had a calmness about them, like, okay, well, you're shot. We'll get there when we get there type of attitude. I'm not sure, but you can hear you guys drop a comment on what you think, especially about all the people. This always happens where these so-called friends, they're nowhere to be found when you are in some serious need of medical help. And this is a good video to show all the other teenagers out there that these so-called friends, they're not your friends. They won't even call 911 when you desperately need 911. You need an ambulance. And it's on live, like you hear what they're saying. They don't seem like they're in a rush or panic to call anybody to help this young lady. It's honestly sad. But drop a comment and I'm going to run the remaining portion of the live that she was sharing.
I got shot. Tell me, said I got shot. I can't move. Drea done yours. I got shot. Yes, I think so. Say help. I got shot. No, take me to the police station. I got shot in my hand. Set my hand off my arm. I got shot. Take me somewhere. I got shot. Yeah, help me, y'all. I got shot. Somebody call my mama. Tell my mama I got shot, y'all. They shot at me, y'all. They shot at said car, y'all, and I got shot, y'all. Help me, y'all, please. I got shot. Nobody said nothing. I wanna die. I got shot. Tell me, said I got shot. I can't move. Drea done yours. Yes, I think so. Say help. I got shot. No, take me to the police station. I got shot in my hand. Set my hand off my arm. I got shot. Take me somewhere. I got shot. Yeah, help me, y'all. I got shot. Somebody call my mama. Tell my mama I got shot, y'all. They shot at me, y'all. They shot at said car, y'all, and I got shot, y'all. Help me, y'all, please. I got shot. Nobody said nothing.
Are all white people with whips. Now, people are so inquisitive. People are asking questions. Why this video? Have a look at this white woman. Like you can see, you can just take a look at her facial expression. Like, I'm gonna whip you with this. Like people are just concentrating on her for some reason. Please check this video out. Okay, now people will be saying, oh, they are just white people doing their thing. It is not about that. Now, people screen recorded this video and they also screen recorded the comment section. I just want you to have a look at this video right here. Now, this video, all the people that screen recorded, you can see from the comment, people, mostly white people, commenting, well. People are asking, what's the meaning of well? What are you guys doing? What is going on? What is happening? So because the video is going viral, I saw stitches mostly from black people, which I have put those stitches together. And of course, I'm going to show you some comments and a follow-up video. Please check the stitches out.
So obvious jokes aside, and trust me, it sure do take a lot to resist the urge to do an Uncle Ruckus impression. This shit reminds me of one of the funniest things I've ever seen happen that I'm not sure anyone else who was there clocked in on. So a couple of months ago, I went to go see a friend of mine in a burlesque show. Shout out to Anika, she's great. But burlesque shows tend to be kind of like variety performances. And there's this one guy, I think he is like Puerto Rican, he was from the Bronx, they called him the Bronx Cowboy. He was doing all sorts of cool stuff. He was doing rope tricks and tricks with these like clacker things. And he was really good at it, right? Super good. But he was doing lasso tricks and then he asked for a volunteer to come on stage. And he pointed at this woman and asked her to come on stage, but she was really shy. And she's like, no. Ask my friend. And he was like, no, it's gotta be you. And she's like, no, get my friend. And then somebody else volunteered and he stood up and he did the trick. Here's the thing. The woman he asked was not black. Her friend was black, and she was pointing at her. And the woman who ended up going up was white, right? And then he put the ropes down, and he did the trick. And the trick was that he like whipped a rose out of the volunteer's mouth. But what that means is that that man was like, oh, let's get that lady. And she pointed to her black friend, and his brain was like, I am not about to whip at a black woman. And like, honestly, the crowd was mostly like white finance people. And I respect the shit out of the mental calculation that man did to not explain why he did not want to do this whip trick, which no one knew was going to be a whip trick because he hadn't pulled out the whip yet. But I was like there, and I had my drink, and I was like, because I saw it. I saw the mental math as soon as the whip came out. But shout out to the Bronx Cowboy.
All I want y'all to do is check out this clip. This is the whitest thing I have ever seen. And I've seen some white things. I know y'all have too. But white people should be embarrassed by this. And I feel like y'all started meeting up after the Alabama brawl. Like, I know y'all mad, but y'all can't be this mad to be this white. I feel like y'all meet up every Tuesday or Thursday at about 3 or 4 o'clock. Like, after you pick up your kids from the drop-off, this is where y'all come. And I don't want to hear nothing about, it's a sport. Or they probably have a farm. Or they're probably just working out. I don't know what it is. It needs to stop. It's giving Django. It's giving that one tear from Glory that Denzel gave us. Stop this whiteness today.
Holy. I hate this app. I hate this fucking app. Holy shit. She looks like she actually has experience, bro. She's getting ready. You see that smirk? Do you see that smirk? She's getting ready. Oh my god.
What the hell?
Am I being petty, or am I wrong for wishing that they all hit themselves in the head with them things? Like, I literally wish one of them hit themselves in the head and messed their eye up. Why? 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 Bye.
So hear me out. We need to start finding out about these things, because I feel like the outcome would have been real different if a bunch of Negroes would have showed up with their whips.
Something about this is racist. I can't put my finger on it, but...
See, I don't know if that's supposed to be a joke or a clapback for the folding chairs. But we all need to change. I wish a nigga would. Until I wish a cracker would. Y'all better pay attention. Ain't shit really changed. Ain't shit really changed. Y'all better pay attention.
What in the Django is this shit? What the fuck are y'all doing? Training? Listen here, you whip crackers. It's a motherfucking new day. We got whips too. We got Impalas, Jeeps, minivans and shit. We will roll up on y'all ass. What the hell you need a goddamn whip for nowadays anyway? They wouldn't even whip slaves with whips no more. They'll probably shoot them with a taser or some shit. Tape their eyes open and make them watch Fox News. You know, real torture.
Bitch, when the fuck do y'all plan on using that? Bitch, when the fuck do y'all plan on doing that?
And this is why I keep my black self in Chicago. Cause, excuse me?
I don't know if I'm overreacting, but I find that video offensive. I don't know if I'm tweaking. I don't know.
Don't let them whips get y'all effed up around here. It's 2023. Black folks ain't scared of them whips no more.
Okay, guys, I don't know if this was supposed to be a joke. I don't know. But people were asking questions. They want to know why they are doing this, filming and recording, and also their facial expressions. Now, he did a follow-up video, like answering questions, which I'm going to show you. Please check it out.
Though sometimes when my whip videos go a little too viral, I get a lot of questions such as, am I racist? I'd like to think that I'm not. I believe in the Black Lives Matter movement, and I think people should learn about critical race theory. I think both of those things are important. My interest in whips comes from Indiana Jones, not from the darkest period in American history. And also, I don't own anybody. And also, I think racist white people these days, they don't have whips. They don't run around with whips. They've got tiki torches and assault rifles.
So I checked some comment sections out. I was reading comments, and some people were asking in the comments, why making this video? Why posting it on social media? Why the facial expressions? Now, knowing the fact that, the Montgomery incident took place like some weeks ago, and people were like, oh, I hope it's not what we are thinking. Well, I don't know. I'm just, telling you what I read from the comment section. Now, beside me are some of these comments I grabbed so you guys can see what people are saying. I thought I should share this video with you because, after seeing this video, I was a little bit concerned, just to let you know that everyone needs to be careful out there. It could be they're doing their thing, okay, but I'm just making this video because it's trending and people are commenting, are duetting, are stitching this video. I don't know. So let me know what you all think down in the comments, and thank you all so much for
y'all that we ain't no African Americans. We know that Africa was named after Scipio Africanus, and that was a white Roman general. And we know that America comes from Amerigo Vespucci, another Caucasian general. Or am I being racist again? Am I being racist when I'm telling you that your real species name is a god? You're not an African American? Or are they being racist by telling you, by naming you after two white people? They're not your ancestors, so why are they naming you after their ancestors? African American. Because they end on the grand scheme of, remember, they conquered and invaded us. Don't ever fucking forget it. While we ship, don't forget it. I've already proven to y'all that we ain't no African Americans. We know that Africa was named after Scipio Africa.
And take away life and nothing is going to happen. And it looks like nothing is happening. Because we want to be at peace. Because we choose peace at every point in time. Yeah, it is not in the history that black people are violent. But no, I think it is time to give them back what they give us. Because enough of all this bullshit. You suspected she stole something from the store. And you arrive there, and you are also giving her threats that, what you want to, you telling her already that I'm going to shoot you if you don't. And I don't know what was running through her mind. She was already scared. And she also made it clear that she did not take anything. And still, they already caught the gun right asking her questions. I'm straight up. Pew-pewed her, and instantly, she died with her baby. Like, how long are we supposed to keep accommodating things like this? Enough is enough. I am going to roll this clip. We'll come back to talk about it. Let me know what you all think. Let's get...
Ohio police officers shot and killed a black pregnant woman on August 24th. Her name was Takaya Young, and her baby both ended up dying. The body cam of what happened was just released. It is incredibly heartbreaking and emotional, and it's obvious that the police grossly misused their power and they escalated a situation when they should have de-escalated it. Both officers in the video were screaming at her at the top of their lungs to get out of the car. They had their guns drawn. One of the officers was standing in front of her car and the other one was standing at her window. Takaya had been accused of shoplifting, but she was adamant that she didn't have anything. The officers continued to yell at her and tell her to get out of the car, and when she tried to drive away, she was shot by the officer at the front of the car. The items that Takaya had been accused of taking were in the store. But regardless if Takaya had taken something or not, the price of shoplifting is not death. The police are not judge, jury, and executioner. They don't get to decide that. One of the officers is on administrative paid leave, and the other one is already back at work. This is completely unacceptable. These officers need to be held accountable. Instead of de-escalating the situation and serving and protecting as they're supposedly supposed to do, they unalived a woman and her baby. Her name was Takaya Young, so say it and hold these officers accountable.
I was sent this story about Takaya Young from Columbus, Ohio.
Listen, I just saw the body cam footage, all of it, even the slowed down version. And it's going to be on our YouTube page. You know, the link's in our bio. You can go to Flo's page or my page, Foolish, and click on the link. You'll see the full, unedited version of the body cam footage for Takaya Young. Now, first off, no weapon should have been drawn at her for allegedly stealing, especially because she didn't pose any kind of threat. She didn't have a weapon or anything. She told that police officer she didn't take anything, and it was the other girl stealing. So the officer should have confirmed the correct people or person that they were looking for. Right? Also, that Kroger employee, Kroger's is responsible also, because that Kroger employee misidentified this young lady, lied on her. Yes, I'm yelling because I'm mad. But the officers should have confirmed they had the correct person they were looking for. I understand, yes. Maybe she should have gotten out of the car or just, put it in park or whatever. But you got to understand from our point of view, when people call the police on us, it is a send to heaven sentence. Automatic. There's no guessing at it. It happens all the time. But she shouldn't have been messed with at all in the first place because nothing was confirmed. She was falsely identified. And the cop that ran over there using profanity and was being aggressive from the get-go, he immediately pulled out his firearm. Instead of trying to de-escalate, taking the lead and de-escalate, somebody de-escalate. Instead of trying to de-escalate, you want to send her to heaven. Now, when you look at the body cam footage, it's going to make you mad. It's going to make you cry because she was immediately gone after that. Immediately. But when you look at the body cam footage, she turned her wheel to the right when slowly moving forward. She wasn't trying to punch it or nothing. This right here suggests that she was trying to avoid the officer, not hit him. And when she said, and I quote, "Are you going to shoot me?" Takaya asked this haunting question before she was fatally unalived. This shows that she was acting out of fear, not malice. When Takaya stated that she didn't steal anything and she was pointing at some other people instead, that was the game changer for the whole case. Because they should have investigated before unaliving, before sending her to heaven. And also, I don't know if you knew or not, There was a witness who came forward and said Takia did not remove any type of alcohol from the store. That adds weight to her statement. The family's attorney has released a statement because they saw the body cam footage. It shouldn't have taken this long to see it. The only reason that they were delaying this whole thing is because they knew they were wrong. They knew they were wrong. So the family has released a statement. It talks about this entire case, the violations that occurred, how this was preventable. You can go read it on Facebook. You'll see it on our YouTube. But this is sad. I'm heartbroken over this, like I am many other cases. This is a GoFundMe that's set up. You can scan this QR code for the family. Let's support them. My God. But go to YouTube. You'll see the whole thing. It shows it in real time. It also slows it down and shows you immediately she's gone. The moment that officer came over there and pulled that trigger. Go check out my bro Flo's page. He goes in a little bit more detail. But go to our YouTube channel, BNN, the Black News Network Media. Go check it out. You'll see the whole thing.
And before some of you back the blue motherfuckers come into my comment section talking about the car was moving until it crashed into the building, understand that she had already been shot by that time. Also, there has been no statement or no evidence showing that Miss Young stole anything out of that store. As a matter of fact, in his interview with the AP on Friday, Walton denied that Young had stolen anything from the grocery store. He said his firm found a witness who saw Young put down bottles of alcohol as she left the store. He goes on to say the bottles were left in the store. So when she is in her car denying that, that's accurate. She did not commit any theft. Now, before you intellectually and research challenged individuals show up in my comment section getting cussed out, allow me to do some heavy lifting for you. The Blendon Township Police Department's use of force policy says when it is feasible, officers should take reasonable steps to get out of the way of an approaching vehicle instead of firing a weapon. Furthermore, an officer should only discharge a firearm at a moving vehicle or its occupants when the officer reasonably believes there are no other reasonable means available to avert the imminent threat of the vehicle, or if deadly force other than the vehicle is directed at the officer or others. So let me get this right. A 21-year-old black woman and her unborn child are both dead over an allegation of shoplifting. And two police officers engaged in activities that blatantly violated the policies of the police department they belong to. And then to add insult to injury, one of the police officers is back on duty, and the one who fired the fatal shot is on paid administrative leave.
White person goes into a store, gets caught, takes it, moves on. Black person gets caught stealing at a store. It's because I'm black. Now there's a case, and we got to figure out if there's discrimination involved.
Yeah, that didn't age well, did it? Didn't even start off well, but definitely didn't age well. So my question is, what kind of goddamn epiphany are you going to dance about now? Y'all have the day you deserve.
I am sick to my fucking stomach. I am not surprised, but I am gravely disappointed. I am sick to my stomach in disgust. The body cam footage of the murder of Takia Young was released at 10 a.m. today, September 1st, 2023. And I just watched it. I'm not going to be sharing the video on my platform because, quite frankly, I don't feel comfortable showing a video of a black woman being murdered. The body cam footage that I watched lasted about 50 seconds. That's about how long it took for them to take Takia Young's life and her unborn daughter. After accusing her of stealing, even though they had absolutely no proof except for a worker that had worked at the Kroger, tried to bust out her driver.
Back in service, 1828.
Get out of the car. Then get out. Go. Then get out. Get out of the fucking car. Get out of the car. Get out of the fucking car. Get out of the car! Shots, your shots fired. Shots fired. Stop the goddamn car! Stop! Stop! Goddamn car!
We're gonna have a 34 on the couple of due to the garage. Attendant 29, 3705 is on board, 3705.
What's that?
Email hallucinating, Fletcherville ask for attendance.
Hey, stop. Hey, out of the car. 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 They said you stole stuff, do not leave. Get out of the car. Then get out. No, then get out. Get out of the car. Get out of the car! Shots fired! Stop the goddamn car! Stop the goddamn car!
We're gonna have 44 on route, she's gonna be at
Driver's side window, got in front of the car and had a gun drawn while saying, "Get the F," and then after they shot her, they kept banging on her window telling her to get the F out of the car. These officers are on paid vacation after murdering a woman and her unborn daughter. How sick is that? Justice for Takia Young.
This about to make y'all mad. This makes absolutely no sense at all. So you telling me the penalty for stealing a bottle of liquor is death now? Ohio police unalive 21-year-old Takia Young just because a Kroger employee said that they thought she stole a bottle of liquor. And I don't like it. What the? And she was pregnant, so they unalived the baby as well. Y'all, I can't make this up. Oh, it gets worse. She also had a 3-year-old and a 6-year-old sons. 6 months pregnant, and we doing all of that for a bottle of liquor. I'm disgusted right now. And of course, they ain't released the body cam footage yet. Comment in the comments for them to release the body cam footage and tell me what you think about this. What is going on with the police and us, man? I don't like it. I don't like it.
So body cam footage has just been released of the shooting and death of Takia Young. And I'm not going to share the video here. I don't want to show the death of this young woman. But something I really do want to touch upon, and like I talked about it before in terms of respectability politics, is that when you are a black woman existing in this world, people will treat you like you're fucking scum. There have been images released of all of the bags that she had from Kroger, and not a single one of those bags, which are bagged, the bags are bagged, which means she went to checkout or went to a person at a register and checked out, and they bagged her things. Even though somebody within that store accused her of stealing, there's no way she could have gotten those bags without having purchased something. And from the images that have been shown, there is no indication that she had any alcohol. There is a claim by this article stating that she supposedly assaulted 2 of those fucking oinkers with her car as she tried to drive away. In the beginning of the video, you can clearly see that fucking oinker comes up to her window very aggressively and is just banging on her window. And when she rolls down the window,
just look for the mobile exclusive tag on thousands of hotels.
Because he's stating that she needs to get out of the car, and she says, for what? All he says is to get out of the car. He does not give her any indication of what she has supposedly or allegedly done. And even right before she is shot, she says, why are you going to shoot me? And what did they end up doing? They fucking shot her. And this is me getting back to my point about respectability. You can be an educated black woman. You can be a polite and respectable, quote unquote, black woman. But at the end of the day, when a fucking oinker or a fucking racist walks up to you, they don't see none of that shit. They see a black person that they are looking and seeking to be fucking horrific to. Nobody who looks at black people and has love and respect for black people and the black community is going to look at music that is made by artists and apply that to all black people. Because you know who does do that? Fucking racists and people that we don't need to be fucking appealing to. You are never going to tell me in a million years, had that been a white girl sitting in that car, that those police officers would have fucking shot her. Even if she had sold thousands of dollars worth of merchandise, they would have never shot her. We as black women don't even get the courtesy to live in this country without people wanting to take our lives each and every day. So please, keep your respectability politics for the fucking racists that you're pandering to and leave the rest of us the fuck alone. Because you are putting us in fucking danger. If you want to tap dance for them, that's your motherfucking business.
You guys, I just got finished looking at the Takia Young's video of the young lady that was unalived by the police that was pregnant. And I feel so many different things. It was senseless in both instances, on the police side, but in all honesty, on her side as well. Because all she had to do was get out of this car. That's all she had to do. I can't stress to young people, old people, middle-aged people, listen, the police is the police is the police.
Black people in jail. How about that?
How about that?
Instead of fitting in nicely into the pocket of the white supremacists that you are, having the nerve to spew hateful, disgusting, racist rhetoric. Keep a black woman's name out your mouth. Keep black people's name out your mouth. Learn your history. Have some respect so that maybe you'll be taken seriously one day.
And that's that on that.
Do you remember when Vivek Ramaswamy said this just days before white supremacists murdered several black people in Jacksonville?
I'm sure the boogeyman white supremacist exists somewhere in America. I've just never met him. Never seen one. Never met one in my life, right? Maybe I'll meet a unicorn sooner. And maybe those exist too.
Yeah, okay. Well, that whole situation reminded me of an incident involving Tucker Carlson from a little while back. You see, for many years, honest, rational individuals with even a tenuous grasp on reality have noted that Tucker Carlson is a very obvious racist, but conservatives swore up and down, Tucker doesn't have a racist bone in his body, I don't know what you guys are talking about. In fact, this whole white supremacy thing is nonsense. It doesn't really exist, it's just used to divide people. And Tucker Carlson himself echoed this exact sentiment on his show.
The combined membership of every white supremacist organization in this country would be able to fit inside a college football stadium. I've never met anybody, not one person, who ascribes to white supremacy. I don't know a single person who thinks that's a good idea. I mean, they're making this up.
Tucker claims to have never met a white supremacist once in his life. Fairly forceful words. But then a few years ago, this news story came out about the head writer of his own show.
For years, Tucker has hired a guy, first at a website called The Daily Caller, then at Fox News, a guy whose name you probably do not know. His name is Blake Neff. So in addition to writing the first draft of many, if not most, of Tucker's TV essays, Neff, it turns out, is a certifiable racist. Beyond belief, CNN of all outlets discovered that Neff made regular contributions to a chat forum using a fake name. Neff online slammed blacks in terms so derogatory we will not repeat them here. Didn't like Asians either. CNN made this exposure on Friday. Neff quickly turned in his resignation to Fox News on Friday as well. On Saturday, huge memo from Fox News management saying that Neff's comments were absolutely unacceptable, had no place at Fox News. And
Which means that for years, millions of Americans watched the news program that was written by the pen of a Nazi. And you know what? There was no national moment of reckoning, no conservative come to Jesus moment, no widespread thoughts of, oh my God, I've been watching the news written by a white supremacist and I agreed with everything he said. What does that say about me? No, never happened. What did they do instead? Conservatives doubled, tripled, quadrupled down on the exact same talking point. There's no white supremacy, doesn't exist, you're making it all up. So if you're a conservative and you're wondering why a majority of every minority group in the country votes against you, it's precisely because of stuff like this and 1,000 other things. Like, you need to start accepting reality if you want people to start accepting you.
24 hours before the targeted racist attack in Jacksonville, Florida, 24 hours beforehand, Vivek Ramaswamy said this.
I've never once encountered that yet. I'm sure the boogeyman white supremacist exists somewhere in America. I've just never met him. Never seen one. Never met one in my life, right? Maybe I'll meet a unicorn sooner. And maybe those exist too.
I don't believe that for 1 second, but for argument's sake, let's say he's telling the truth. Vivek, why would white supremacists treat you well? They treat you well because the only thing that they love as much as not having melanin is to hear their propaganda come out of the mouths of people who look like you, because it gives them plausible deniability. And man, that's worth a lot. You are helping their cause more than you know. And so of course they're going to protect you up until a point.
You took issue with comments from Congresswoman Ayanna Pressley. She reportedly said, quote, "We don't need any more brown faces that don't want to be a brown voice. About that, you said, "These are the words of the modern grand wizards of the modern KKK." You know, I'm sure, the KKK was responsible for more than a century's worth of horrific lynchings, rapes, murders of Black people. How in any way are the views you're talking about comparable to the views and atrocities committed by the KKK?
What I said is the Grand Wizards of the KKK would be proud of what they would hear her say, because there's nothing more racist than saying that your skin color predicts something about the content of your viewpoints.
You didn't just say they would be proud. You said these are the words of the modern Grand Wizards of the modern KKK.
It is the same spirit. You're right about that, Dana. I think it is the same spirit to say that I can look at you and based on just your skin color, that I know something about the content of your character, that I know something about the content of the viewpoints you're allowed to express. For Ayanna Pressley to tell me that because of my skin color, I can't express my views, that is wrong. It is divisive. It is driving hate in this country. This is dividing our country to a breaking point.
That is a debate that is based on nonviolent discussion. That you just said you're using rhetoric, which she said she's using rhetoric. That's one thing. And another thing is to say that she represents and she is a modern version of a KKK, which, as you know, was dedicated to the subjugation and violence against Black people. How on earth is she a modern Grand Wizard of that kind of organization?
Let's be intellectually honest and get to the heart of what this debate ought to be about. There is a worldview that says that the remedy to past discrimination is present discrimination. That if you're Black or brown, you have to have a particular point of view. That's from Ibram Kendi. That's from Ayanna Pressley, the people I quoted in my speech yesterday.
But can you have an intellectually honest conversation when you accuse her of being a Grand Wizard of the KKK? Can you have that intellectually honest discussion with that kind of rhetoric?
Yes, I can, Dana, because the point I'm highlighting is that even the people who, in good spirit, we all agree that the KKK was an awful organization that is a toxic stain in our national history. So given that we can start from that point of agreement, now that allows us to say, well, who actually sounds more like that organization today? the people who are calling for more racial discrimination on the basis of skin color. So yes, I think that is an
But it's not
intellectually
about
useful starting point for a provocative discussion that we need to have in this country.
The whole point is
And I
the
think
KKK
I think the reality,
wasn't
Dana,
just
is
about
we
rhetoric.
have to speak
They
openly.
lynched people. They murdered people. They raped people. They burned their
And
homes.
that was wrong.
Simply
That was
because
obviously wrong.
wrong. Okay, so
that
again,
is obviously a
if
wrong
you want to
thing
have an
have done.
intellectual
Absolutely.
discussion, do you think that maybe comparing her to the Grand Wizard and the notion of what she said to being a modern leader of the KKK was maybe a step too far, or you stand by what you said?
I stand by what I said to provoke an open and honest discussion in this country. Because there is a gap, Dana, between what people will say in private today and what they will say in public. I think we need to close that gap. I think we need to have real, open, honest, raw conversation as Americans. That is our path to national unity. And there are many Americans today who are deeply frustrated by the new culture
I'm
of
just not
anti-racism
sure how
that's really racism in
provoking
new
a
clothing.
discussion.
And we need to have that debate in the open. Dana, I think
I'm not
you're
so
doing,
sure how
with due
provoking
respect,
a
what many in the
discussion
media do, picking on some fringe comment in the context of a broader context that I was offering it in a speech.
All right, so
avoiding
you
the
just said
meat
that
of
your
the
comment
issue.
was fringe.
Let's have the courage to confront the meat. I'm saying you drew a
You
fringe
just
comment
described
from a
your
much
comment
longer
as fringe.
speech. I described you picking one fringe comment from a long speech that I gave to duck debate from the real issue that I think you don't want to have, Dana, because I think you probably agree with me on this. That this is toxic
I think that
rhetoric
this debate,
from leading politicians
I think that this debate
dividing us on the basis of race. And I want to have
I
the
think
open
this
debate.
debate is fascinating and interesting and opening and important. What I did was
I do too.
explain to our viewers that you were asked a question and you took it to a point where you called a sitting member of Congress who is black, who was having discussions about race, calling her the modern grand wizard of the KKK. And I'm just not sure how that's open and honest discussion. I want to move on, though, to another issue, a very important issue, and that is
Before I
climate
move on,
change.
I want to say that the
Sure,
question was,
please.
how was I actually able to speak? And her view is I can't share certain views because my skin color is brown. I disagree with her, and we should have that debate in the open. But yes, let's talk about climate change because this is critical.
You see, what we have there, ladies and gentlemen, is another example of Harrison Floyd. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Vivek has clearly missed the bus when it comes to issues of race.
A little too much for me. Wonder what I'm talking about? Let's take a look.
Essentially, I've decided that I am going to be a transracial. I will now be identified as a black woman. So if you guys can't respect that I want to be identified as a black woman, I would suggest that you guys unfollow my page. But I do want to be a part of the black community. I've decided that the white community is just not for me, and I decided that I do want to be a part of the black community. So I will now identify as Queen Booty Bree, and that will be...
First and foremost, you could never. See, that was a mocking of black women in that video. And did you not say that I would never do anything to damage the black community? But you also think we are just here for your entertainment and your fun. And when black people tell you that what you did was offensive or they found it offensive, especially towards black women, you dig in and say, well, I'm just having fun. That's white privilege. When the people who you are offending tell you you are offending them, and you say it doesn't matter because it's all secondary to your fun. Yeah, this is my nice response. Please make a video targeting me so I can really get loose on you. You could never.
So this is all I got from the stitches. And first of all, before we get into this video, I'm going to say that that brown man, that man that said he's brown, he is as confused as hell. Like, how do you say we have to stop all this? What are we stopping? I mean, like, black people are supposed to accept her because she want to be black. And then when you cut everybody that we all bleed blood, can people stop using that shit, like that thing to justify some of their stupidity and all that, because I don't see how people wake up.
The American Revolution was about, right? Think about the fact that the time that this country has had perfect, pristine capitalism was during the slavery period. This country became an empire in less than 200 years, unprecedented in the world, based on the fact that you had pure capitalism. Labor costs were a minimum. You didn't have to spend extra money feeding the enslaved people. You just fed them the scraps, right? That's why the Caribbeans eat oxtail. They eat the ox, you get the tail, right? You just feed them the scraps, the chitlings. Think about all the food that African Americans eat that is considered, endemic African American food. It's based on the scraps. Chicken wings, neck bones. You're basically eating the main food and then throwing the things you don't want to the enslaved people. It's just that enslaved people were really super creative and made that shit tasty, right? But they were still eating the scraps of the food you had, so no extra cost there. You just throw them into a cabin, right, on the property you already own. No extra cost for that. The main costs were spillage, meaning people running away, and there was a lot of that, right? Rebellions, and that kind of thing was like very risky. Abortion, enslaved women taking herbs and things to abort the babies that you put into them by rape or through forced breeding, right? Which deprives you of property, valuable property. Thomas Jefferson is one of the people who, sort of revolutionized the idea of forced breeding, right? And so your costs were fairly minimal as long as you can minimize the number of people who run away. And you usually did that through extreme violence. But this was pure capitalism. And the big capitalists in this country have been trying to replace that system ever since. Remember, this capital, this human capital, is worth $4 billion at the time of the Civil War. And people became phenomenally rich with no income tax in what became the United States of America before the 20th century, when the income tax was passed, the federal income tax. And so you're talking about huge amounts of untaxed generational wealth.
Just look for the mobile exclusive tag on thousands of hotels.
Last month, Montana banned the use of TikTok, and now another app called Zigazoo.
The big capitalists have been trying to replace that system ever since, whether it's with impoverished Irish labor or Italian labor, Chinese labor to build the railroads for pennies, pennies on the dollar, working for as cheap as possible, annexing places like Puerto Rico and using that labor to supplement the cheapest labor you can get, right? Grabbing and creating an empire, grabbing Hawaii, grabbing as many territories as you can, where you can then take that labor and make that your new cheap labor source. It's why we have an increasingly brown country, because it just kept grabbing different brown people to do the work for cheap. But that's like really fundamental to creating a lucrative capitalist empire. And the reason that conservatives are so freaked out by the idea of people learning real history, right? And why they want to replace real history with this actually absurd pretend history, like the PragerU stuff, where they basically say, it's better to be a slave than to be killed. Slavery was no big deal.
Slavery is as old as time and has taken place in every corner of the world, even amongst the people I just left. Being taken as a slave is better than being killed, no? Before you judge, you must ask yourself, what did the culture and society of the time treat as no big deal?
And trying to get, modern children to believe absolutely ridiculous stuff when they can actually learn more on TikTok, to get them to believe that Frederick Douglass was in favor of slowing down that whole emancipation thing.
Children, our founding fathers knew that slavery was evil and wrong, and they knew that it would do terrible harm to the nation. They wanted it to end, but their first priority was getting all 13 colonies to unite as one country. The southern colonies were dependent on slave labor, and they wouldn't have joined a union that had banned it.
Are you okay with that?
I'm certainly not okay with slavery, but the founding fathers made a compromise to achieve something great, the making of the United States. It was America that began the conversation to end it. But Leo is correct that big problems need to be approached very carefully.
Come on. And even trying to get them to, think poorly of white abolitionists.
Have you kids heard of William Lloyd Garrison?
No. Nope.
He's an abolitionist like me, and he and I used to be friends, but we aren't any longer. We don't agree how to solve problems. William refuses all compromises, demands immediate change, and if he doesn't get what he wants, he likes to set things on fire.
Sounds familiar.
Sounds like you know the type.
Yeah, we've got that type in our time.
So, you're trying to work for change inside of the American system.
Precisely, Layla. Our system is wonderful, and the Constitution is a glorious liberty document. We just need to convince enough Americans to be true to it.
The reason they're doing that is what they're afraid of, right, is that they know, like I know, that the research says that when white children learn real history, including the bad parts, and let's be clear, there are a lot of bad, really violent parts of American history, they don't learn to hate themselves. The research shows they just become more empathetic. That when black kids learn real history and brown kids learn real history, they simply get higher self-esteem because they understand there's nothing inherently wrong with them and that the challenges that people who look like them face are down to systemic racism and oppression. It isn't something wrong with them. But the white kids, they don't hate themselves as a result of learning. They become more empathetic. But the risk of that is that they then will support policies that reduce the power of capital and increase the power of labor. They'll start to side with the picketers and not the industrialists or the big media companies, right? They'll side with the people in the desks and the cubicles and not the CEOs. They'll side with the poor and not the rich. They'll side with the workers and not the bosses. And that's risky because when they start to side with the workers and not the bosses, they might actually vote to tax capital. They might vote to regulate capital. And taxes and regulation are the things that the conservatives fear the most. And so when they go to these strategies of stoking division, interracial conflict, racism, ginning up whether it's white versus black racism and anti-blackness or non-white racism and pushing Asian versus black and pitting us against each other. All of this is strategic, y'all, because what they are afraid of is that their kids will combine with and side with and unite with black and brown and Asian American kids across a generation and regulate capital and tax capital, and that the policies that they will support in the future when they're in control will make labor more powerful versus capital. It's all about the Benjamins. It's all about money, and it's all about keeping labor down and capital way on top. See what you're seeing. Understand what they're doing in their strategies, whether it's voter suppression, trying to control women's reproduction, to drive more and more women out of the workforce and create